Hi and welcome. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on February 23rd, 2024. Thanks for joining in on a fun little card reading today. Let's see what kinds of messages want to come out for us. And this is going to be one overall reading, as you see, so no pick a card. And so hopefully something in here is uplifting or just, bring something good to your life today, is something that you perhaps need to hear. I do pre-shuffle and pre-select after connecting in, just asking, what do whoever's finding this right now, what might you need to hear today? That'll be good for you. Now, I throw myself in the basket. I'm going to talk about we and our cards because I'm in here, along on the ride with you as we go through this reading. All right, so first up, I just want to start by saying I'm usually always guided to change up the background, if you've noticed on some of my other readings, and it's always something new each and every time. That's just because I love to express and, let that creativity and spirit of ever expanding and abundance carry through all of the readings, no matter what the messages might be. So in this case, I was strongly guided to bring out this little plastic prop. It's a golden chalice, a bejeweled chalice, and then put these are like mini squeaky ducks in little organza bags that have moons and stars and things on them. So anyway, they represent abundance, luck, magic, our ability to bring about our own magic in our life, but also kind of the wonder and the things that just kind of happen in the miraculous, right? So anyway, first up, I just want to say that not only is one strong message that we are golden, we are that cup, and our cup is overflowing. And what I want to say here is, and that's echoed actually by the very first card up, is this Eight of Pentacles, and it says opportunities. And some of us, I don't really like that word pentacles, although pent is the number 5, for the 5-pointed star. But I like actually the decks that call them coins. So anyway, call it what you want. But the point is that there's it's showing abundance in these pentacles, that opportunities are ahead of you, if not going to land, your way right now. We got echoing of the golden stars. Things are coming up, stars and roses and abundant. Even the colors in the background, we got some rosy tones and warm tones. Warms, it's almost evoking fire. If you've got this card and you're feeling it, and you know that you're open to opportunities or experiencing them now, you're on fire, metaphorically speaking. And in fact, you've got a bonfire going on over here. Now, I do want to say that not all of us are in that state. Some of us might be feeling like, geez, I want to feel like a bonfire, but I'm feeling like a little puttering, sparking out sparkler that's on its last fizzle. If that's you, then when we look at this cup, I want to just remind you that let's just take all of this away, okay? I want to show and illustrate, graphically here, like straight up. Actually, I'm even going to take this cup and I'm going to tip it out, okay? So, all right, we're looking in there. All right. You might say, why'd you do that? I wanted to enjoy that abundance and that feeling of that energy of that. Well, I'm here to show you that you are abundant just as you are. We are that cup, okay? This cup is representing us. It is a solid gold cup. Let's just pretend. I know it's plastic. But it is solid gold. And we are who we are through and through. Nothing can be taken away from us if we are that solid gold. We're not gold plate. We're not electroplate. We're not, just some flimsy veneer of that gold. We are gold through and through. Remember that and own it. Being the gold plated would be if you're caught up in appearances, caught up in the outer world of, oh, I'm defined by my material possessions, yada, yada. Well, we just took all those possessions away. We can't take you away. We can't take me away. We are this golden cup. We always will be. Anything else is added unto us, okay? And I'll just throw it all back. So now we're going to get our abundance. Look, it comes, it goes. It comes, it goes. It comes again. Okay? Why can it do that? Because we are golden. We come equipped. We have everything we need self-contained. We are totality. We are perfection in our creation. I know a lot of people say, oh, I'm not perfect. Yes, we are. We absolutely are. We are perfect even in what are perceived or seeming imperfections. Why? Because we cannot get it wrong here. We are this cup. We land from somewhere. Boom. That golden spark on the sonogram, that baby sonogram, that spark of life, it comes from somewhere. We don't have to define and point and know exactly where. We know there is just some other place that we drop in from. So we come fully equipped. So all of this is just extras, right? So we cannot get it wrong either. We didn't come down here to, quote unquote, get it wrong or be imperfect. We are given the latitude to make what some might call mistakes. Well, that's a judgment. Is an experience, for better or for worse, a mistake? I say no. We come to this earth, I call it a sandbox, all right? Some say it's the game of life. I call it a sandbox. We can have lots of toys in our sandbox, or we can have nothing and just be in the sandbox playing with the sand. But we come as we are. And whether I, throw something in the sandbox that doesn't belong there, or I decide to keep stuff in there that, quote unquote, do, it doesn't matter. Some might say, oh, that's a mistake. You can't. Hey, kid, why'd you pour oil all in there? Now you ruined the sand or whatever. Well, it was an experience. I know it's a bad example, but just showing you that something is, quote unquote, spoiled by, others' eyes. Well, maybe I learned a lot about that oil and it's mixing with the sand or not mixing. And that one little lesson becomes something that's key, like absolutely key to something that I do in the future that saves or helps all of humanity, just to exaggerate things. So there truly are no ways of getting it wrong, I believe anyway. So maybe that's something that's important for somebody here out there today. All right, so we come like that. We come as we are. So back to the people that might have a sputtering out kind of flame that's flickering and on its way to being doused out. Our inner spark, though, can never be extinguished. We might feel like it, but in truth, it never can be. So for any of us that are feeling like really like I'm on my last little sputtering flicker of hope, I'm just not having it. I really wish I could bring it. I don't have this raging bonfire. I'm not feeling and connecting in with that. Well, I'm here to invite you to imagine that you're diving into this cup. Actually, I'm going to empty it out again. Because again, abundance can come, go, come back again in an ever continuing cycle. It just doesn't go and it's gone forever. It's going to come back. You can fill it back up. But anyway, let's just say we just don't have it to bring it today. Imagine just like diving in that cup. Imagine it filled with a beautiful liquid, some kind of magical liquid even, that once you spring up out of that cup and, just jump up and break the surface, you are renewed, refreshed, and got all the fire you need, whatever level you want. You got that fire, you got that motivation, you got whatever you need. Even if it is just for this moment, even if it is just to get through this day, just through this right now, great. If it'll last you all month, beautiful. All year, wonderful. Decades ahead, all right. But for right now, this is talking for the people that just need it right now, to maybe even need it to take a step off the bed, a step off the couch, just need enough to get up off the floor if you're just laying out there with no hope left. Here, listen to me, get up off the floor. Take that little step, if you need to, okay? So we're going to spring up out of that cup and feel renewed and have exactly what we need today. Because again, everything we need, we have it within us. Now we just need to bring it out a little more, a little more, a little more. If we can't just jump from little flicker to raging flame, let's just take it gradual, one step, that's all we need, okay? So we're going to spring out, we're going to feel that refreshing renewal of whatever liquid, beautiful, magical liquid is in there. Imagine whatever feels good and nourishing to you. Maybe it's water with fragrant real roses or lavenders or herbs, mint, whatever you like, okay? I'm bringing that up and making such a big deal out of it because earlier, when I pre-shuffle and pre-select connected on the cards, I noticed this one coming up, and this imagery, is probably what was like a little seed planted that made me talk about dive in that cup and let's just jump out a new person, refreshed, renewed, and reminding ourselves of that we have it self-contained to bring it. But it's just like this kind of this mergirl, this mermaid. It says have faith. It says your prayers are manifesting, remain positive and follow your guidance. That means inner guidance, outer synchronicities, outer signs, quote unquote. It's all of it, it's those are our affirmations of the faith that we're having or trying to have. This is also kind of a leap of faith because this mergirl, she's under there, the water often, they say anyway with these card readings, represents emotions. We don't know how deep this water is. She could just kind of be in the shallow end and just spring up and it's no big deal. Or she could have had to come up a long way from the depths of like the Mariana Trench, to come up to get to this light. Her journey might have been short or long, doesn't matter. She's guided to just spring up. She's not even looking to see where she's popping up out of. She's trusting that she's not that unlucky, that there's, not a boat just sitting right over exactly where she's springing up with her eyes closed and going to hit it. She's using her intuition to feel things out and know that, yes, she can trust. She can have full faith, even with those eyes closed, especially with those eyes closed. And she is going to pop up every time without hitting her head on something. So, again, your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. If you do that and you tap in and connect in with your inner guidance, you will be led in the right directions every time. Sometimes it may not seem like it to the physical eyes. That's why these eyes are closed, because she's feeling it out. Now, even her body in the position, if she raises up a little more and fully springing out, she might even level out and get a little bit straighter. And actually, her physical body is reminding me of this cup. That's us. We are that golden, form. We are, sure, slightly different form, but we are straight and true, that cup. And that's what that's reminding me of. Also, background, we've got the golden sunlight breaking through this otherwise dreary cloud, and that's what she's facing. She's done with dealing in these energies, these darker energies that are creating an overcast shadow over this whole sea. She's ready to spring up and rise and shine, literally. And so even if you just have that intent, even if your feeling is not quite connecting with the image, I'm here just to maybe help be that little piece of guidance you need in this moment. Let's get there. Let's get there together. Let's rise up out of that water. It's time now to remember who we are and to rise and shine. Even if that shines just a little bit, doesn't have to be, like stadium lights or a bonfire. We just shine and glow in our way. Even the smallest little flame, little flicker lights up an entire dark room. And that's what we are. We come to light up every room we walk into, or every outdoor that we go to. We connect and light up all around us, and then we interact with the nature and the animals and all of that, because they feel it and then they reciprocate, which is a beautiful thing. That comes back to ties us back into about nature. Our second card too popped up in this deck. Hang on one second. And that one is, and actually I'll get to the first one because I don't think I got to that yet. I had to record this the second time. I lost a half hour of this, so I'm doing it over. Healing the natural world, as our natural surroundings are very much connected with us and our health. Loving them unconditionally can only bring a deeper connection to our shared energies. Helping to protect and create a safe haven for the animal kingdom will bring guidance to your own life. Affirmation, I am connected to the animal kingdom. Now, I would say that we really don't have to help protect and create a safe haven for the animal kingdom. I think most of us just living day to day are not doing anything to destroy that. And that's the humanity that I know and trust. Anywhere where there might be propaganda coming down that, oh, humans are terrible and they're destroying the planet. Well, really, that's corporations. That's bigger industries that are not, being respectful, like huge chemical plants dumping stuff out. Us on the day-to-day, as humans, yes, okay, there are things that we do that do create, pollution and this and that, but not to the scale that is being touted by the mass media and all of that. There are huge industrial systems in place that are mass pumping things into the skies, chemicals into the skies, into the water and everything else. And it's not just us humans, going about our day-to-day business. But that's just, I'm going to leave it right there for now, because I know I see a lot of indoctrination going on in schools and even at university level, where they're trying to, quote-unquote, force-feed this carbon footprint crap. I will say crap, because when you've got industries mass polluting on such a vast scale for decades upon decades upon decades, and trying to blame it on simple humanity going about its business, yeah, I am going to bring that up. But anyway, what I want to get back to, maybe on a more positive note with this, healing the natural world, nature knows how to take care of itself. It really does. But just like humans, there might be a time here or there that we need to lend a helping hand. And of course, then it's our, within our range, absolutely, to get out there and go and help where we can, if we are guided to. Now, there's an image on the back of this card, and it's it looks like a dove or maybe an eagle, but it really, the upper left corner just kind of reminded me of like an angel morphing. And then anyway, we've got this this other figure, and she's really a part of nature, where her crown is maybe reminiscent of deer antlers or upside down roots from a tree. But we look, and it says healing the natural world. So this card, I'm just going to give a personal example that may bring up something somebody needs to hear right now. It may not. And there's a fast forward or skip button if you like, but if you don't want to hear it. But otherwise, this card just reminds me of where I had a nature moment to help protect. I was on the beach, and I was sitting there, and I saw a seagull standing maybe about 20 feet ahead of me on the shoreline. And that seagull decided, and it's funny, this orange bag is right here, there was a bright orange balloon lying there on the sand. And I watched the seagull, and they really do kind of pick up a lot in their beak, and then they suss out whether they're going to eat it or not. You know, is it food, or is it something shiny I want to take to a nest or whatever? In this case, I thought, oh, well, surely that seagull is going to know it's rubber, it's vinyl, whatever, don't eat it, you know. Nope, that seagull took it up in the beak, tossed it up, and then started to swallow it. Now, in that moment, of course, my instinct was to protect and help it. But, you know, I didn't let the brain kick in and go, oh, well, it could thrash you, it could claw you, it could, you know, peck at you, whatever, and harm you. So I just ran up to it. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I just acted. So I went literally up to its face, and got where, you know, the little nubby part of the balloon when you tie it off. I mean, the balloon was deflated, but I took that end, and I just started tugging very gently, very, very slowly, and extracted that balloon. I mean, he was almost about to swallow. I guess there was about an inch or so left before it was really gonna, you know, ingest it, like, you know. And so anyway, slowly pulled it out. It did not harm me. I think I understood what I was trying to do there, and I disposed of it safely. So yes, there are things that we can do. If I looked the other way, that would have been a dead bird. That would not have been great, right? In the sense of what a waste, what a senseless loss, because people put balloons on the beach. So maybe that's a good reminder too, if anybody's planning on doing any kind of celebrations, maybe refrain from balloons at all. And if you're gonna have them, make darn sure that you pick up every last one and all the little pieces if any pop or break, right? So that's just being a common sense, you know, custodian of nature and the earth. But otherwise, nature does know how to heal, just as our body knows how to self-heal if we let it, right? Okay, anyway, I know I kind of went all over the place on that card. Now, the other card, actually, that even came up first, we'll pan down through, we'll go through this, is the Navigator. You have the ability to navigate your way around tricky situations swiftly without causing any trouble or creating negative thoughts and feelings. Whether at work or in your personal life, you act promptly and quietly to create the best outcome for everybody. Affirmation: I act effectively and swiftly. Okay? And on the other side of this card, it shows the navigators being here, the fox. Okay? Now, what I like about this is the fox has a nice disposition, seems pretty happy. It's not connecting in with like the clever, tricky, you know, kind of stereotypes or symbolisms of this animal. But it does talk about navigating tricky situations. Well, in this case, it's intuitive. I think once we get to a certain level where we've put the ego aside, we remember that we are solid gold. We are not an electroplate or a veneer. You know, we're not some flaky veneer. We're not identifying with the appearances and the surface level, which would be, you know, the ego. You know, if we don't understand what it is, what its role is, it's absolutely necessary. I'm not in the same camp of vilifying it at all. It's part of the totality of who we are, so we can survive on this planet and navigate our way through on this planet. But it's just keeping it in check and keeping it in balance, that's all. Not letting it go into excesses one way or the other. So once we understand that it has a pivotal role in who we are and how we can navigate this planet, but it's not who we are. We are not the ego. It is a part of us. Then you understand, then you come to an understanding, as some like to say, of what this card is getting at. What this card is getting at is intuitively, by being in the balance, by not giving into the illusions of the outside world, by really keying into our inner senses and knowing that in any situation, we have the power to navigate and bring about a good or at least sensible income. Maybe somebody needs sensible income right now. A sensible outcome. And then by just keying in and trusting our intuition, everything around us will be okay and support us. So right now, this fox is in a state of, you know, jumping downward. Well, like in the water example where she's just springing up. She's not overthinking like, oh, there could be a boat just in this one little spot of this huge vast ocean and I'm going to be unlucky enough to hit my head on it. No, she's already feeling it out. Where's the way open before me? She's already seeing it in her mind's eye. I can just spring up. It's fine. If it weren't, and it just were extremely like crazy that a boat were right there, her inner guidance system would say, oops, just dodge to the left, 3 feet or whatever, right? But she's still trusting completely and having that faith. Faith in the unseen, faith in herself and her ability to connect to it, right? And also instinctively. She shouldn't have to tell the heart to beat. It just knows to beat. She shouldn't have to say, hey, cells, we're going to reproduce so we can grow. They just do it. And we're trusting that. We trust our inner system. In the same way, this fox is trusting and doesn't even consciously think to trust. It's just going about in the spirit of play and bounding adventure. Let's just go. So it knows instinctively, every cell or whatever knows to maybe relax up, soften on that knee. The cartilage already knows to relax a bit even before it's going to hit that ground on the next step. If it's like a softer landing area, or actually, sorry, it will firm up, right? If it's a really soft area, it will know to maybe firm up a bit. If there's a rock, that cartilage in the legs or whatever will soften up already instinctively before they even hit it, because they'll know we're going to need a little more shock absorbing, as we land in that area. I think you know what I mean, if I didn't describe that exactly right. But anyway, the point is that that fox is the navigator, but also has an inner guidance system navigating it as well. And it works in combination with it. But it knows it has everything with what it needs self-contained. There's nothing on the outside. It doesn't need a road sign saying, hey, don't step there. If there is a dangerously soft space or something that would put it into trouble, it'll instinctively know, again, to dodge to the left or right a little bit and just miss that, right? We don't just see tons of foxes just stuck in a bog, or dead. They bound around, or even if they hit it, they'll go, oh, whoop, too watery, and somehow, like cat-like reflexes, bound out of there very quickly. So, okay. That's just a reminder. Again, we come equipped. There are no mistakes, and we know how to get out of tricky situations if we need to, because we're equipped with that ability to use our ingenuity, our creativity, etc. All right? All right, so let's move on. I am going to look here now. We'll go to the first card over here. Speak with Love, number 32 or number 5. And we've got this gondola scene of Venice. That could even be Ponte Rialto, Rialto Bridge. It's reminding of that anyway. It isn't, but it's just kind of a reminder. But anyway, we've got the typical arched bridges of the Veneto, Venice. And we have this couple, and let's see if I can see what's really going on. Can't quite tell. I guess he's just expressing himself. Anyway, the point of this is speak with love. They're locked into a conversation, oblivious that this gondolier, that he's even standing there. And so that's reminding of us of that moment, that they don't even need to be speaking with words. And it doesn't matter if it's man and woman, woman, man, I don't care. This is just about two people. It doesn't have to be romantic, that are engaged, locked into a very tight discussion. And that discussion, I would argue, doesn't even need to be with words. I mean, it shows that this one person is expressing with the hands, which is typical of Italian fashion. I lived there for about a year and was immersed in the culture, and it's funny. It's true. Italians, generalizing, but there's a lot of truth there, and it if you're Italian. You speak with your hands, you gesture, you're very expressive. Your body is the extension of your expression, not just your words. And so speaking with love, a lot of people have what they call a love language, right? What's your love language? Well, some might be speaking, some might be singing, some might be smiling, some might be gesturing with the hands, So anyway, in this case, it's like, yeah, how are you speaking with love? A lot of times just the actions or body movements and gestures are much louder than words, as they say, right? Now, maybe poetry and words, are all a part of it, and that's beautiful too. But it's just, I'm going to not go too deep with this, but it's just a reminder too, when we speak with love. When we have the opportunity to use a kinder, loving tone, let's do that. We're coming into a time where more and more is going on in the outer world that is creating confusion and chaos and just seems kind of spinning out of control. Now, if we're in check and, we have our ego tamed, or at least in balance. I don't want to say tame, but in balance. We know who we are. We are connected in with spirit in a very powerful way, and we realize that, okay, outer world craziness doesn't have to be my world. I can see it, observe it, but then know that, okay, we're going to move forward confidently. I come fully equipped, and anything else going on here is not going to impact me negatively. And if something seemingly negative comes into my world, I'll transmute it. I'll do what I need to do to, see it and transmute, transform, alchemize that situation. But if you're not there, which a lot of people are not, and even if we feel like, oh yeah, I can do that, there are days where we just can't do it maybe, or forget. For a lot of people out there, it's becoming a very scary and confused place. So especially with people dying a lot, there's a lot going on now for the craziness that happened in the last few years, people getting sick and dying. So it becomes unsettling. There goes some stability that a lot of us have, if you're really connected in and, with loved ones. So because of that, now is all the more time for others of us that are maybe in a little bit more in a connected space, more often than not always, but more often than not, to look at others and encourage and give a softer tone. If we're in a line, at a grocery store, I'll just say, and it just seems longer than you like, or you feel like in your hurry and you're about to like be sharp or kind of, be a little more clipped with your words and your language, maybe just take an extra beat, take a breath, and just try to remember to speak in a more loving tone. Just one mini example. All right, I'll move on. All right, I think you get my meaning. Anyway, here we go. Here's another card. We've got a little trail of ants. They're carrying leaves. And it says, Leaf Cutter Ant, Army of Life, ask for help, seek support. You are not alone. All right, well, I think we touched earlier, if I remember, if I covered it in this particular take of this video, that support can come in any number of forms. We do have everything we need self-contained. We can get our support by connecting in and meditating or praying, asking for help that way. Or there might be physical people in our circle, or just going to a neighbor, somebody we might not normally go to if we need help. Or we can just close our eyes and ask, for help to come in and find us on our path. They say, the saying, the old adage is many hands makes light work. Well, that's true. Like more of us that can physically carry stuff, it helps a lot, right? So there might be times where you do have to physically, go ask for physical support to lift and carry things like this. And then there are times where we do sometimes have kind of like superhuman strength here. The ratio, I forget what it is exactly, but if you look it up, the ratio of what the ant can carry, like I forget how many times its own body weight it can carry, but it's like crazy, astronomically incredible. Sometimes we're filled with that superhuman strength too. So say you're like, well, I do need help. I've asked for it, I prayed for it, I meditated, and it has not showed up. Yeah, sometimes crazily it's like, okay, you just got to punch through and try it yourself, even if it's like physically lifting something. I've been in a situation where I'm like, come on, man, come on, God. I've asked, I've prayed, like, I need this help. I've gone and looked and I've called and like nobody's here. And it seems like I have to like literally move out of the space in a few hours, and I still have this thing. What do you want me to do? And there have been times where then it's just like, okay, fine. I'm just going to have to somehow pick this thing up and push it or whatever, drag it, I don't know what, and get it out of here. I've had to do that. And then I've been angry. I'll just say pissed off, like, God, what the hell was that? But somehow I was able to, focus into the right, internal, close my eyes and just say, okay, let me do this without damaging any, of my knees, my body, my back, or whatever. And I was able to do it without doing that. Other times I've been like, okay, we did this before. God, come on, bring the people on my path. And then in those cases, like, yeah, why'd you have me do that? I don't understand. And sometimes it's just to show you that you could do it. And then that's just one lesson completed, and it won't happen again. Next time, in my specific example, I had to do that even with an injured hand. And I'm like, what are you doing, God? It's going to break or injure my hand more. How are you having me lift all this stuff? And I found whatever, the right bandaging tape or whatever that really held it strong, and I was able to do it without damaging myself further. So, we don't know what kinds of lessons are coming to us in some of these seemingly unbelievable situations we find ourselves in, even after we've prayed. But anyway, another example, continuing on that example, was later the next time I'm like, oh, come on, you can't tell me nobody's around here again to help me on this particular situation. This was like a decade ago. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to go through that again. Come on, I'm believing that you're going to have something on the backside to help me. Where's my net? And then sure enough, it was last minute, but something did come through. And then I got the helping hands that I needed. Yeah, there will be close calls. Cutting it close comes to mind when I see leaf cutter ant. And am I happy about times like that? Me personally, no. I get pretty pissed off when that happens. But the point is that the right people, places, and things, if we relax a little bit, will come on our path when we need it, even if that is ourselves, that have to carry it through sometimes, even, beyond our belief or imagination. Sometimes we find ourselves in those situations, right? Anyway, goes back to reaffirm that we have everything we need regardless of what's going on around us or how abundant or not it seems in the time. All right, now we are going to go to this card, and I'll probably be wrapping this up soon. But a beautiful, pink crystal, and it says number 4, self-love, cobalto calcite. All right. I don't know that I've seen an actual piece of this in real life. But anyway, looking right at this card for right now, reminds me of a compass, or the 4 directions, cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. Also reminds me of, the radiating star, or a star in the sky, the overall form, these things radiating out. And pink, as we know, in the chakra level of things, at least what we've been taught, is, for healing the hearts. It's the heart chakra and healing. That's why we've got rose quartz is known as a healing crystal as well, for the healing in the area of love, right? And bringing extra love and for healing, the power of healing. I don't know if I mentioned, I don't think I did at the beginning, when we look at numbers, I also often refer to the Australian blog site, Joann Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers. Just do an internet search there, type in 4 or whatever number you like, and you'll see some very positive aspects, meanings and aspects of that number and other numbers, whatever you want to look for. So when I look deeper though at this, I see these 3, it's just a trick of the lens. The crystals look like they're dark, and it's just catching, the reflection that way. But what it reminds me of is when just looking in plan, it's reminding me of if this stone wanted to bust out of here, like it's looking like this is forming a little bit of a barrier. If this stone were like a little car, and it just wants to zoom out of here, it can't, it looks like it's locked in, right? But this is all reminding me of, no, let's look at things with a different perspective. You're not trapped, you're not locked in. This stone, why can't it just fly up off the page vertically, right? Or go down, dive down in? Well, why are we only looking at something from a very limited myopic perception or point of view? Okay, that's just one little message there. Doesn't need to tie into anything else, and it's not going to. It's going to be standalone. Okay, so I think that's it for now. Whatever came through, came through. And, just for fun, I'll just zoom in on some of these. These are little mini squeaky ducks. I often give them out just randomly, tell people it's for luck, or for whatever they need in that moment, or as a little thank you, token of appreciation. And I don't discriminate. It goes to whoever, however young or old. I also go by feeling out in my day-to-day. Something I'll just say, give it to this person, and I'll be like, really? They don't seem very receptive, or I don't know, and then something just says no. Or I will give them to somebody, if I'm guided to, who hasn't been particularly helpful and actually might have been a little rude. And I'm about to leave thinking, well, that person's not nice. And no, I'm not. I have a few ducks left maybe on me that day after going on my day-to-day business. I just grab a handful and keep them with me in a bag, in my bag. And so I might even have some left, and I'm leaving. I'm going, no, I don't think that's the person I give it to. I'll save them for whoever else needs it. And I'll be leaving that person, again, maybe rude, not helpful. I know they could have been and they weren't. And then something will just tug at me and go, come on. I'll even have turned and faced my back to them as I'm leaving. And something will say, come on, you know what you need to do. And then I go, okay. And I turn back around and I go, oh, hey, you know what? Here, this is just something for a little luck, And they look at me in disbelief because they know they've been rude, and yet somebody's given kindness. And it really makes them stop and think, or really more just feel the love coming to them. So that's just a little extra little message I want to leave with you, I think, for now. Maybe something to think about. Maybe you're already doing that out there in the world, just finding some little thing to bring upliftment wherever you go. And it can even just be a little pebble out in nature, but you put loving intention behind it and say, hey, here, this is for you. You know, you could use this in your life right now, or I think this is, something said to give it to you for luck. And then don't overthink it. And people really feel that. And you just might be that person that they've been needing on their path, today, just to bring them that extra little bit of flame that they need to get out of that little dying spark ember phase, and to bring themselves to feeling more rich and abundant and more in touch with who they are and that loving side of them, and that warm energy, the warm tone energy of fire and of love. Okay. All right. Well, best wishes to all. If you're finding this as you approach a weekend, extra happiness and blessings to you for the weekend, and for right now. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.